Thank you so much for this opportunity and for the rest of the speakers. So as you said, my project is connected, but it varies a little bit because we provide services to the farmer. And also the way we started the project is basically to support the farming community, because the farming community in Ethiopia composed of 80% of the population. So for us, community development means farmer empowerment. And when you do the farmer empowerment aspect, you need to look at the end-to-end aspect as well. So when we support the farmer, so there is the income improvement, there is the self-confidence, there is the market understanding, and also food security. So that was our initial focus. But then in order to do this, there is different components that are connected across the value chain. So as you said, the trade aspect, empowering the farmer to connect directly with the buyer, language, communication, digital adoption. So there is that aspect. The second aspect is how do we capacitate the farmer so that he can follow up the logistic until the end, until it delivers to the buyer. And then when you go to the buyer side, there is also major issues when it comes to Ethiopia coffee as well. Transparency and trust is one of the biggest complaints that you hear over the research, even hearing from lots of clients. And the transparency issue, and then also the trust issue, and then also there is the cost and the pricing that you often hear. So for us, looking at all this, so you need one to support the other. So it's not like something that you can look at separately. So technology is obviously the obvious way to tackle all these interconnected issues. So we started from the point of, again, farmer empowerment. We had to also address the buyer, because for us to empower the farmer, we need to get the trust of the buyer. So this is where basically the data management, the procurement aspect, making sure that we record the farmer into the system. So a system where we launched as a trade and logistics to connect farmer to the buyer. So the procurement data has to be very accurate and it has to be reliable. And the second aspect is also, when it comes to trust, is how do we know who we're buying it from, which farmer? And so for us, identity management and KYC was very important. And I think it's the USP of the proposition, or our proposition in the project. So identity management, KYC, all this is part of what we call trade and logistics. So now people would start to believe and know who they're buying from, because they've got this robust KYC behind it. The next thing is, how do we transact? And when we do transaction is assuming that they're happy with the product and they're buying it. Often buyers want to see basically the end-to-end steps of the coffee at any point where the coffee is, whether it's warehouse or whether it's in some way transporting from one location to another. So that knowledge and losing that sleep, because you're talking, because often buyers, they find it very hard to trust farmers, because when you think about farming, you think about like backwardness. Although if you see research right now, they're saying 65% of roasters actually would like to work with farmers, but then they don't trust to work with farmers. So for us, by providing this robust track and trace capacity of the technology, then we're actually providing a logistics system to the buyer and also to the farmer, because the farmer, once the coffee gets out of his hand, maybe it's going to some port, he has no way of knowing where it is, because the money won't be get paid until it reaches into a certain level. So both end parties, whether it's buyer or farmer, would be losing sleep. So actually solving that issue would boost the trust aspect as well. So this is basically where the logistic comes in. I would go in detail a bit later, but yeah. So the trade aspect is fine, but the logistic aspect for us was the bottleneck in terms of even attracting enough buyers to empower our farmers. When we talk about logistic, there is a digital aspect, that's great, but then also beyond logistic, there is effectiveness. Effectiveness in terms of time, in terms of making sure that you deliver, because time is everything for coffee. So partnership also for us beyond digital aspect is very important. Injecting in the right service partners, service providers to the transport sector to make sure that even the coffee is traceable. Also, we get the service when we want it, how we want it. It means even partnering with large service providers like Ethiopian Airlines to make sure that we get efficient services, to make sure that we get efficient cost that supports the whole concept of basically, farmer empowerment. So this is basically our trade logistics story and how we brought it into the platform to support the farmer and also at the same time the buying community.